Welcome, dearly beloved anointed ones. Stop scrolling right now. I am not asking for your attention today. I am absolutely commanding it. If you swipe away from this message, you are making a fatal spiritual mistake. This is not a coincidence. The algorithm absolutely did not bring you here by chance. Heaven intercepted your feed to deliver a very specific verdict. Someone who treated you as replaceable is currently experiencing a massive internal collapse, and their entire false reality is breaking down right in front of the world. You know exactly who I am talking about. They walked around with absolute arrogance while they secretly drained your light. They constructed a pathetic, false narrative about you. They whispered lies to anyone who would listen because they needed to hide their own darkness. But the tables have permanently turned. They expected your departure to destroy you completely. They waited with bated breath for you to fail. They thought you would come crawling back to them, begging for scraps of validation. But they made a massive miscalculation because you became the silent force they were never built to handle. You did not break. You walked away and took all of your pure energy with you. And now they are starving in the dark. Their mask has not just slipped today, it has completely shattered in front of everyone. The very people they used to gossip with are now watching them unravel. They are literally making noise about you because the silence is driving them insane. Nobody has ever seen them act like this before. This is not happening in private. It is a public and completely irreversible collapse. Buckle in, chosen one. Do not look away. What you are about to hear is not just commentary, it is a specific and undeniable X-ray of the meltdown happening behind their closed doors right now. I am going to show you exactly what happens when a master manipulator loses their favorite target. You are going to see the exact timeline of their divine punishment. Every single time your name comes up in their current reality, it hits them with agonizing weight. They are finally realizing the absolute magnitude of their mistake. They threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held just to play with cheap rocks. And those cheap rocks are providing absolutely zero energetic fuel. Their new supplies are utterly hollow. They are frantically trying to replace the irreplaceable. Your light was the only thing keeping their miserable world afloat. You were the stabilizer they desperately needed. But you finally cut the cord. That restraint you showed was not weakness at all. That absolute silence was a lethal weapon. Your single act of choosing your own dignity over revenge signed their eviction notice. Heaven took over the battle the second you walked away. Lock your attention on my words right now. The enemy is screaming at you to swipe away. They are terrified that you will hear this divine confirmation. They know that this exact message will permanently destroy their remaining access to your mind. Do not let them win today. Stay anchored in this space. You must witness the completion of the justice you have been crying out for. You thought nobody noticed your silent tears in the middle of the night. You thought nobody saw how you held your integrity when they lied on your name, but you were wrong. The universe was quietly taking notes while you bled in silence. And the universe is incredibly precise when it balances the scales. You are standing at the exact threshold of a massive timeline shift. They are drowning in the noise of their own making. They are frantically searching for someone to blame because they cannot face the mirror. You were the mirror that exposed their rotting core, and now they are left alone with the terrifying reflection of their own emptiness. This is just the beginning of their spiritual eviction. The raw truth is about to be exposed completely. Now let us go deeper, because what you feel right now is not new. Listen closely, because the enemy tried to hide this. There is a physical reason you feel that heavy weight this week. You wake up at exactly 3 a.m. with your heart racing, while the rest of the world is asleep and unaware of your battle. The room is quiet, but your mind is screaming. You wonder if walking away was a mistake. That suffocating feeling in your chest is not random. The nights you wake up with your jaw tight and their face flashing in your mind are completely valid. Listen to me very carefully right now. That is not anxiety, and you are not going crazy. That physical weight you feel is your highly advanced spirit detecting the absolute panic of the enemy. They just realize they permanently lost you. Your body is processing a massive spiritual withdrawal. You spent months functioning as a human battery for a parasite who was incapable of feeling real love. They attached themselves to your pure light. They drained your energy to fill their bottomless void. And every time you tried to set a healthy boundary, they violently punished you for speaking up. Your chronic exhaustion is their fault. The silent disappointment you carry is the heaviest burden of all. You did not walk away because you stopped loving them. You walked away because your soul was quite literally suffocating in their deeply toxic presence. You watched the mask slip time and time again. You kept waiting for the person they pretended to be at the very beginning, but that person never actually existed in reality. It is perfectly normal that your body feels utterly shattered right now. You poured your sacred energy into a black hole. You gave them grace when they deserved absolute banishment. Every time they lied, you swallowed the raw truth just to keep the fragile peace in the house. And that burning feeling sitting in your throat right now is the culmination of all those swallowed truths. Stop swallowing it today. They demanded your unconditional loyalty while offering you absolutely nothing but empty promises and breadcrumbs. You were the ultimate empath, caught in a vicious snare. You thought your pure love could heal their profound brokenness. But covert narcissists do not ever want to be healed or saved by you. They only want to consume. Your extreme physical fatigue is the lingering residue of their dark frequency. You might be wondering why they can just move on like nothing happened. You see them posting pictures and smiling with their shiny new supply. Your stomach drops and the nausea hits you in intense waves. I need you to completely reject that illusion right now. Their public display of happiness is a carefully engineered performance meant to trigger your deep insecurities. It is a pathetic show. Underneath that fake smile, they are desperately suffocating in private. They are bleeding out energetically because they no longer have access to your high frequency. The new supply they are parading around is completely hollow. It is a cheap downgrade, and they know it deep in their rotting core. Your pure essence was the only thing giving their miserable life any actual flavor. They are starving. Please take a deep breath and drop your shoulders right now. Release the heavy tension you are holding in your jaw. You have been walking around in survival mode for far too long. Your delicate nervous system was hijacked by a master manipulator, but the connection is finally severed. The spiritual cord that tethered you to their chaotic matrix has been permanently cut by the divine universe. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology that will never arrive. You do not need their closure because their entire existence was a fabricated lie. The closure is your immediate and total withdrawal from their toxic matrix. You are the cycle breaker heaven has been desperately waiting for. The generational patterns of brokenness end completely with you. You survived the brutal fire today. Let me completely reframe your reality right now. You did not lose the spiritual battle today. But here is the raw truth they could never say out loud. You probably did not realize it at the time. Your sudden departure was not just a simple boundary, and your absolute silence became a lethal weapon because it instantly starved their demanding demons. They rely entirely on your emotional reactions to survive in this world. Every text message you sent and every tear you cried was prime fuel for their massive ego. They needed you to desperately fight back. They wanted you to argue because conflict proves they still have control over your beautiful mind. But when you finally instituted strict no contact, the dynamic fundamentally shifted. You pulled the plug on their main life support system. They were plunged into complete and terrifying darkness. A covert narcissist does not have an authentic identity of their own. They are simply an empty vessel that mirrors your beautiful qualities. When you speak to them, they eagerly absorb your vibrant frequency, and when you finally stop speaking, they are forced to sit alone with their own rotting core. Your silence is incredibly deafening to their highly fragile nervous system. The panic is setting in right now. They arrogantly thought your strict boundaries were just a temporary phase. They assumed you would eventually break down and reach out for closure, because they always believed your deep empathy would override your common sense. But you shocked them by staying entirely silent this time. Your absolute refusal to engage is causing a short circuit in their brain. They are malfunctioning on a cellular level today. This is exactly where their entire manipulation massively miscalculated. They pushed you to the absolute edge of your precious sanity. They expected you to explode in anger so they could label you as the crazy one. But you gave them the terrifying gift of your permanent absence instead. Without your constant validation, their entire false reality begins to crumble. They are losing their grip on everything right now. You are the chosen one, and your vibrant energy is sacred. You were never meant to be a permanent battery for a spiritual vampire. The withdrawal symptoms they are experiencing right now are severe and highly physical. They cannot sleep at night because your quiet power is actively haunting their thoughts, and they realize they can never manipulate you again. Your powerful ghost is walking through their empty mind. You are truly untouchable today. Please listen to me very closely right now. The Matrix programmed you to believe that walking away is a sign of giving up. But your silence is actually an advanced spiritual attack on their nervous system, and it is destroying their ability to function. Every day you maintain no contact, you deal a massive blow to their fragile ego. They are desperately trying to find a cheap replacement to numb the pain of losing you. But cheap replacements will never satisfy their hunger. You carry a specific gravity that cannot be duplicated by anyone. They are trying to extract fuel from completely empty people, and the profound emptiness of those new connections is making them sick, while they secretly compare everyone to your light. They finally see the massive difference between a genuine diamond and a rock. They expected you to stay trapped in their vicious cycle forever. They wanted you to keep fighting for a fake love that never existed. Your sudden quietness is a powerful frequency they simply cannot comprehend. It is entirely outside of their rigid and highly toxic programming. You completely took your massive power back without saying a single word, and that silent exit is the ultimate punishment for a master manipulator. Your delicate nervous system is finally starting to heal and regulate itself. The heavy brain fog is lifting because you are no longer absorbing their chaos. They are permanently trapped in the exact nightmare they tried to build for you. While your beautiful reality is clearing up, their dark world is completely falling apart because the universe has proudly stepped in to handle your absolute vindication today. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. Heaven is now releasing 4 specific truths about what is happening behind their closed doors. The 4th truth is the absolute most powerful revelation you will hear today. You must not leave before you hear that final instruction. It holds the key to your permanent freedom. Here is the very first truth you need to understand. The perfect victim facade they built is officially cracking in public. They spent years carefully constructing a pathetic false narrative, and they always painted themselves as the innocent martyr who suffered under your imaginary cruelty. They needed everyone to feel sorry for them, but the Matrix programming is completely failing them right now. When you walked away in total silence, they lost their script. They desperately needed you to react wildly in public so they could point fingers, but your pure restraint offered them absolutely zero ammunition. So they were forced to overplay their hand and exaggerate their fake injuries. And that is exactly where their entire manipulation began to unravel in front of the crowd. The people they used to gossip with are finally noticing the massive inconsistencies. At first, everyone believed their sad and weeping stories about your departure, but covert narcissists are incredibly sloppy when they are starved for energy. They start repeating the same pathetic lies with too much desperation. Their stories simply do not match up with your silent grace, and people finally see the profound rot underneath their fake smile. You did not have to defend your pure name at all, because your strict no-contact policy was a masterclass in divine warfare. The public is watching them spiral out of control over someone who is not even in the room. People are quietly asking questions about their erratic behavior behind their back. The fragile mask is literally melting off their face in real time. They can feel the audience slipping away from their toxic matrix. A master manipulator thrives on absolute control over the social narrative. But when the narrative cracks, they experience a terrifying loss of power. They are sweating under the bright lights of their own exposure right now, because they know your brilliant absence is the exact catalyst for this public disaster. Type 111 in the comments if you feel the atmosphere shifting. You are the chosen one who broke the vicious cycle. You were never meant to carry the heavy burden of their fake reputation. They used your beautiful empathy as a shield to hide their own darkness, but heaven completely removed that protection to expose their true nature to everyone. They are terrified of what you might say to others, because they project their own evil intentions onto your pure spirit. They think you are out there running a smear campaign against them. They cannot fathom that you simply walked away to protect your own peace. Their profound paranoia is eating them alive while they frantically try to patch the massive holes in their story. You are watching divine justice unfold from a perfectly safe distance, and the universe does not require your physical participation in their downfall. Your energy is way too precious to waste on a dying parasite. Every single time they try to play the victim now, they look incredibly foolish and unhinged. The crowd is no longer buying the cheap tickets to their pathetic pity party. They are losing their grip on the flying monkeys they worked so hard to recruit. The very people they weaponized against you are starting to wake up, and they are noticing the erratic energy and the constant obsession with your silent ghost. The foundation of their lies is crumbling into dust right now. And this brings us to the second profound truth that heaven is revealing today. Pay close attention, because the enemy tried to hide this. This brings us to the second undeniable truth. The flying monkeys are officially waking up from their dark slumber. Those mutual friends who blindly believed the lies are finally seeing the light. While you confidently stepped into your ageless glow, the toxic spell they cast is entirely broken today. The matrix programming is failing. The narcissist used these people as a ruthless weapon against your pure soul. They recruited a loyal army to isolate you and make you feel crazy. And those foolish flying monkeys eagerly carried the toxic poison directly to your front door because they were completely manipulated. But without your vibrant frequency to distract everyone, the social environment has fundamentally shifted. They must finally face the real monster today. You were the ultimate stabilizer for that entire chaotic friend group. You constantly absorbed the toxic shockwaves, so nobody else had to feel them. When you silently walked away, you removed the only protective barrier they actually had. Now the narcissist is turning their endless rage onto their own loyal soldiers because they are desperately starving for energy. They are ruthlessly devouring their own people today. The flying monkeys are quickly realizing they were just cheap pawns in a sick game. They are noticing the erratic mood swings and the constant demand for validation. The narcissist is frantically demanding absolute loyalty because their fragile ego is starving for attention. And this extreme desperation is incredibly repulsive for everyone around them to watch unfold. The loyal defenders are quietly backing away. I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening behind their closed doors. Anxious whispers are spreading through their inner circle like wildfire today. People are finding massive holes in the original story they were told about you. They are starting to ask why the supposedly crazy person is living in total peace. While the desperate narcissist completely spirals out of control, your silent grace exposes every lie. You did not have to defend yourself or explain your side of the story. You let the universe handle your absolute vindication while you stepped into your power. And the stunning contrast between your thriving, positive energy and their frantic public decay is completely undeniable to anyone watching. The flying monkeys are secretly stalking your peaceful life. They feel massive guilt for ever doubting a diamond like you. The covert narcissist can feel their trusted army slipping through their desperate fingers. They are throwing intense tantrums because they cannot control the narrative anymore. They try to reel the flying monkeys back in with fake tears and manufactured emergencies. But the old manipulation tactics simply do not work on these people anymore because the dark illusion is entirely shattered. The victim act is destroyed. Read that again in your spirit and let it firmly anchor your reality today. You were not the problem, and you never were the toxic one. You were the radiant mirror that simply refused to reflect their ugly distortion anymore. They are trapped in a terrifying prison of their own making, and the cold walls are rapidly closing in on them. Every flying monkey that leaves is another heavy brick removed entirely. This leaves the master manipulator completely and utterly alone in a crowded room. They are surrounded by people, but they have absolutely no one left to drain. The cruel and heavy isolation they maliciously tried to force upon you has magically boomeranged right back onto their own empty head. Divine justice is incredibly poetic when you patiently let heaven fight your battles. The tables are entirely flipped today. They are standing alone in the smoking wreckage of their own burned bridges. The quiet silence of their empty life is deafening to their highly fragile ego. They arrogantly thought they could easily replace your profound depth with a room full of shallow echoes, but they were completely wrong. And this monumental failure brings us directly to the third divine truth today. Do not look away from this message right now. Here is the third undeniable truth about their current reality today. They finally realize that you are a completely irreplaceable diamond. They arrogantly thought they could just swap you out for a shiny new toy because they assumed your high frequency was common and easy to find anywhere. But they were absolutely wrong about your true spiritual value. You carry a specific gravity that makes you totally unique. They are currently surrounded by very cheap rocks that look good from a distance. They parade these empty people around to make you intensely jealous. But these new connections offer absolutely zero authentic spiritual fuel for their dark soul, because a master manipulator requires pure light to survive in this matrix. The new supply is shallow and completely lacks your profound depth. They are starving. Every single time they look into the empty eyes of their new supply, they think of you. They desperately miss the intense warmth of your radiant energy. You were the only one who truly saw their profound brokenness and chose to stay anyway. You poured your sacred light into their dark void without asking for anything in return, but they foolishly threw your pure gold away to play in the dirty mud. Let me completely reframe your reality right here and right now. They are experiencing a massive cellular realization of their tragic loss. The heavy weight of regret is crushing their chest every single time your name is spoken, and they know deep down that they maliciously destroyed the best thing that ever happened to them. And the most terrifying part is that they cannot blame anyone else but themselves. They are frantically trying to mold the new supply into a cheap copy of your beautiful spirit. They demand the same extreme loyalty and deep empathy that you freely gave them every single day. But it simply does not work, because you cannot ever fake a divine frequency. A cheap rock will never catch the light the way a genuine diamond does, and the profound difference is painfully obvious to everyone watching. You were the ultimate stabilizer for their chaotic and miserable existence. When their highly fragile ego shattered, you were always there to quietly pick up the broken pieces. You absorbed their toxic shockwaves so they could walk around looking perfectly normal to the outside world. Now they have absolutely no one left to filter their massive toxicity, and they are literally suffocating in their own terrible poison. Type 777 in the comments to physically claim this incoming miracle. You must understand that your specific depth is utterly unreplicable in this dark matrix. They searched everywhere for someone who could tolerate their heavy abuse while still shining incredibly bright. But they quickly realized that chosen ones are extremely rare. There is only one of you, and they permanently lost access. While they are rapidly decaying from their own bitterness, you are stepping into your untouched power. You look younger and significantly brighter since you finally walked away from their toxic trap. The pure joy in your beautiful eyes makes them sick with deep envy, because they hate that your life did not end when they discarded you. You became the brilliant sun while they remained a tiny black hole. You are not an option, and you never were just a temporary stop on their journey. You are the final destination that they were completely unworthy of reaching. Heaven purposefully removed you from their toxic grip to protect your massive spiritual assignment on this earth. They will spend the rest of their miserable life searching for your familiar warmth in very cold places, but the door is locked forever. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the absolute key to everything. The narcissist is not just sad about losing a wonderful person. They are experiencing a terrifying physical reaction to your profound absence in their dark world. The spiritual withdrawal is aggressively pushing them into a state of total madness right now. And this brings us to the fourth and most powerful truth Heaven wants you to hear. Listen to me very closely right now, because we have finally reached the fourth and most important truth today. This is the exact revelation you have been desperately waiting for. You must not leave. The narcissist is not just dealing with a simple bruised ego. They are experiencing a terrifying physical and somatic collapse in the dark, and the spiritual withdrawal is literally tearing their fragile body apart. Every night, at exactly 3 a.m., their eyes snap wide open. Their heart is pounding out of their chest. They are sweating in the dark, while the rest of the world is completely silent. They pace the floor of their empty room, and they frantically check their phone, hoping you finally broke no contact. But the screen is completely blank. The profound silence is physically crushing their lungs today. They are desperately starving for your pure energy. A covert narcissist operates exactly like a parasite. When you abruptly cut the cord, you cut off their primary oxygen supply. Their highly fragile nervous system is short-circuiting because it has absolutely nothing to feed on. They are experiencing the exact same heavy brain fog and extreme exhaustion that they maliciously forced onto you for so many years. They used to sleep so peacefully while you stayed awake crying. They stole your vibrant energy to soothe their own chaotic demons. But the massive transfer of energy is permanently cancelled, so now they must face those terrifying demons completely alone in the pitch black. The heavy burden of their own rotting soul is pressing down on their chest. They are quite literally suffocating in deep regret. This brings us to a critical distinction that eludes the vast majority of people. Your silent absence is an active spiritual frequency. It is a loud and booming vibration that rattles their bones, and they simply cannot escape the powerful ghost of your memory. Every time they close their empty eyes, they see your radiant face moving on without them. The pure joy in your beautiful eyes is burning them alive. They are trying to numb the profound physical pain with cheap distractions. They consume new supply, and they chase meaningless validation from absolute strangers. But the deep void inside them is completely bottomless. The cheap rocks they surround themselves with cannot stop the frantic shaking of their hands, because they are completely spiraling out of control while they desperately try to look normal for the public. I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly in your mind. The master manipulator is huddled in the dark. They are completely terrified of their own shadow. The mask has slipped so far that they do not even recognize the monster in the mirror anymore. They are trapped in a physical prison of severe anxiety, and heaven is making them feel every single ounce of the pain they caused your pure heart. You are completely insulated from this dark chaos. You took your crown back, and you walked out of their burning house, and your total refusal to look back is the absolute ultimate punishment. They are screaming your name in the spiritual realm, but the massive doors of heaven are firmly locked against them. Your pure energy is strictly protected by divine forces. They can never touch your light again. Share this specific message with one soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift. Be their protective angel today. There is someone out there who needs to know that the narcissist is finally paying the ultimate price. Send this to them right now to break their trauma bond, because we are building an untouchable army of cycle breakers. We are sealing the energetic alignment of the remnant. The climax of their destruction is rapidly approaching. The physical panic they feel in the dark is about to spill over into the broad daylight. They can no longer hide their terrifying madness from the public eye. The final public collapse is entirely unavoidable now. Stay with me right here. You are about to witness the spectacular public meltdown that permanently ends their reign of terror today. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario clearly. The climax of their destruction is finally here today. They are standing alone in the center of their own manufactured chaos, and the profound silence you left behind is echoing louder than a massive explosion in their fragile mind. They are finally staring directly into the terrifying void today. The room is completely quiet, but the noise in their head is deafening. They pick up their phone for the 100th time today. They stare at the blank screen, hoping for a single crumb of your attention, but there is absolutely nothing there. You have completely erased your brilliant presence from their miserable reality, and the cold realization of their permanent loss is physically crushing their chest right now. They always thought they held the ultimate power over your precious emotions. They arrogantly believed they could summon your empathy whenever they needed a quick fix. But the remote control they thought they held is completely broken. They press the buttons and absolutely nothing happens. Your total refusal to engage is causing a spectacular system failure, because the master manipulator is entirely paralyzed by your silence. While they are completely unraveling in the dark, you are walking in the glorious light. You did not have to lift a single finger to destroy them. Your profound peace is the ultimate weapon that completely dismantled their toxic empire. They are desperately trying to rewrite history to make themselves the innocent victim again. But the script is literally burning right in their shaking hands. The false self they spent decades building is shattering into a million jagged pieces. They cannot keep the fake smile plastered on their face anymore. The panic is bubbling up into their throat and choking them. And while they desperately try to catch their breath, the air feels incredibly thick because they are inhaling their own toxic fumes. They are suffocating on their own dark energy today. Watch closely as the panic sets into their physical body. Their hands are trembling while they try to act normal in front of their new supply, but their eyes are totally vacant and wild. They look like a cornered animal who finally realizes the massive trap was built by their own foolish hands. There is absolutely no escape from the divine justice of heaven. Your strict no contact was not just a simple boundary. It was a massive iron gate slamming shut on their only source of survival. They are slamming their fists against that heavy iron gate today. They are screaming your name into the dark abyss. But the abyss only echoes back their own profound emptiness, and they finally understand that you are completely out of their reach forever. This is the exact moment they realize the massive loss is totally permanent. They cannot charm their way out of this spectacular disaster. They cannot use fake tears to manipulate your pure heart anymore. The bridge is completely burned, and the ashes are blowing away in the wind. And the agonizing weight of regret is dropping on them like a heavy anvil. They are fundamentally destroyed. You are the chosen one who broke the vicious spell. You survived the intense psychological warfare they waged against your beautiful mind, and now you get a front row seat to their spectacular collapse. The universe is forcing them to drink the exact same poison they poured for you. But their fragile body simply cannot handle the toxic dosage. They are shutting down completely right now. This intense private meltdown is just the beginning of their divine punishment. The internal chaos is about to violently explode into the public sphere. They cannot contain this terrifying madness inside their house anymore. The pressure is building, and the heavy dam is about to break. They are going to expose their own rotting core to the entire world very soon. Do not blink right now. And here is the exact verdict heaven promised you at the very beginning. The internal chaos from the dark room finally spills over into the broad daylight. They are sitting in a crowded room surrounded by their loyal flying monkeys. Everyone is watching them closely today. The fake facade is completely crumbling under the bright lights of public scrutiny. Someone in the crowd casually mentions your beautiful name. It was just a simple comment in passing, but that single word hits the master manipulator like a massive freight train today. Their highly fragile nervous system instantly short-circuits because they simply cannot process the agonizing weight of your memory. The fake smile disappears and the mask officially shatters. The spectacular public collapse happens in slow motion. The flying monkeys try to insult you just to please the narcissist. They eagerly repeat the old lies because they think they are helping their leader. But the narcissist suddenly realizes how incredibly cheap and totally empty these people truly are compared to your diamond light. They feel completely sick to their stomach. The entire room goes completely quiet. The master manipulator suddenly stands up from their chair while their hands are violently shaking and their face turns totally pale. They slam their heavy fist directly onto the wooden table. Everyone jumps back in absolute terror at the sudden explosion of rage. The shiny new supply stares at them in complete and utter shock. They start screaming at their own loyal followers. They aggressively defend your pure name in front of the entire crowd. They command everyone to shut their ignorant mouths about you right now. The narcissist publicly admits that nobody in that pathetic room will ever compare to your profound spiritual depth. They expose their own massive regret to the whole world. The loyal flying monkeys are entirely speechless. They just watch their fearless leader completely break down over a silent ghost. The narcissist is crying real tears of absolute panic. They are actively grieving the irreplaceable diamond they foolishly threw away in a moment of pure arrogance. And the entire crowd witnesses this pathetic display of total mental collapse. This is the undeniable karma you patiently waited for. You did not have to say a single word to clear your beautiful name. Heaven forced the exact person who lied about you to publicly confess your absolute superiority today. Your silent grace weaponized their own crushing guilt, and the ultimate vindication is fully yours to claim right now. They are now the crazy one in the eyes of everyone. The flying monkeys quickly distance themselves from the unhinged monster. The new supply is entirely humiliated, and they are immediately packing their bags to leave. The narcissist completely destroyed their own fake kingdom because they could not handle the heavy reality of your brilliant absence. They desperately wanted you buried alive in their toxic dirt. They prayed for your total downfall every single day of their miserable life. But instead, they became the heavy shovel that dug up your magnificent treasure. Their public meltdown is the exact catalyst that propels you into a much higher dimension. You are totally untouchable and perfectly protected right now. You won this brutal war without lifting a single finger. The divine scales of justice are perfectly balanced today. The universe fully vindicated your pure heart in front of the very people who proudly doubted you, and you must let that immense victory wash over your entire spirit. You are the absolute ruler of your reality now. The narcissist will never recover from this monumental public shame. Their fragile reputation is permanently stained by their own erratic actions today. They must live with the haunting memory of the exact day they completely lost their mind over your ghost. Your legendary silence successfully broke the devil. The cycle is permanently shattered, and you are finally free. You survived the absolute worst of their heavy fire. The brutal war is completely over today. Take a very deep breath and let the heavy armor fall off your tired shoulders right now. You are entirely safe in this divine sanctuary. The universe completely handled your enemies while you rested. You walked into this dark season bleeding from terrible wounds inflicted by people who were totally blind to your worth. But look at you now. You are absolutely magnificent. You are no longer waiting in wound for a fake apology. You completely transcended their highly toxic matrix. While they are publicly unraveling in the dark, you are stepping into your permanent power, and your spirit is soaring. You carry an undeniable, ageless glow today. The severe stress was supposed to age you and break your beautiful spirit. Yet here you are, making time itself look like an absolute fool. You bent time completely. Your vibrant energy is fully restored and incredibly pure. Nothing makes your enemies sicker than watching you step into a room looking younger and brighter after everything they did. They spent years praying for your ultimate downfall. They fully expected the cruel betrayals and heavy isolation to carve deep wrinkles into your face and drain your life. Instead, you walked right through the fire. You came out glowing like a radiant diamond today. The financial struggles and the spiritual exhaustion are permanently shattering right here and right now. Step into your absolute power and receive the exact harvest heaven prepared for you. You are the cycle breaker that heaven desperately needed. The dark generational patterns of brokenness completely end with your pure bloodline because you boldly chose to stand your ground. You are the ultimate victor. The narcissist is officially erased from your bright future. But you must listen to me very carefully right now. You did not survive the fire just to live a mediocre life. The ultimate verdict of explosive abundance has already been signed in heaven today. But it strictly requires a physical anchor on earth to officially activate the powerful blessing. God does not measure your faith by your positive thoughts alone. He measures your deep faith by your speed of immediate obedience. The window is standing wide open right now. The enemy will violently try to whisper dark financial doubt into your left brain right now. He will desperately tell you to hesitate and calculate your next move. You must silence him completely today. That hesitation is the exact matrix programming designed to keep you broke and stagnant while others thrive. If your cellular intuition is vibrating right now, do not resist this final divine instruction. Heaven demands your immediate action to unlock the massive miracle. Prove that you are completely ready to receive your massive blessing. Your profound generosity triggers the massive harvest you have been crying out for. Sow your massive seed of faith today to partner your finances with this specific divine mandate. Give a super thanks right now and watch heaven instantly multiply your harvest before the sun rises tomorrow morning. Do not let the dark matrix block your massive shift. Act with extreme boldness right now. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. Type 777 in the comments below to physically anchor this exact spiritual shift into your new reality. Say this out loud with me right now. I claim my permanent freedom, and I am forever untouchable because heaven protects my every step. You are fiercely protected and deeply loved by the divine universe. Go in absolute peace, chosen one. Before you close this message today, you must remember exactly who you truly are. You are the chosen remnant of a highly elite spiritual bloodline. You carry the precise frequency that completely terrifies the dark forces of this chaotic world. Share this specific message with another beautiful soul who is crying out in the dark for a major breakthrough. Be their protective angel today. We are building an unstoppable army of light warriors together.